Hello, it's Matt Linklater here, and I want to share with you a portfolio I was doing for one of our clients. And I want to share with you how I was able to decrease market risk and decrease tax risk for this portfolio, and how it meant basically doubling the amount of income that they were projecting at retirement. So let's kind of dive in here. So this client was a saver and is a saver. So currently they're spending $78,000 a year of current living expenses, having fun, traveling, and doing certain things. If we increase this at 3% a year just for inflation, it means that their spending habits would be $140,000 when they go to retire. This is in 20 years. So this client plans to retire in 20 years. So we take that current living expenses of $78,000 and project it to $140,000 20 years from now. Now, like I said, this client's a saver. They have $600,000 saved up currently, and they're maxing out their 401k with a 6% match, and they're saving about another $20,000 a year on the side. So they are a saver. So projected at $2.9 million. So if we take their current assets and the savings I just shared with you and added a 5.5% compounded rate of return, this would net them $2.9 million in 20 years. Now, if you take kind of the rule of thumb statistic out there, is that you can take 3% off of whatever your retirement nest egg is, and it would project to last 20 to 30 years. That means that this person can take just under $90,000 of income. That is pre-tax. It would be a blended tax rate on there because some of this is in a brokerage account and some is in a retirement account. So it'd be $87,987 will be the projected income off of the portfolio when the projected retirement expenses are $140,000. So a couple things that we wanted to look at for this client and everybody are the current risks. Now, currently there are market risks and tax risks. We've been on a long bull run. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not a market prognosticator. Recently, the market over the last month did what's called a head and shoulders and looked like it could have been setting up for a bearish signal, but we broke out of that and broke to the upside. So again, not a prognosticator of the market, but there are some market risks out there and geopolitical risks. And we'll talk about tax risks. We are going in debt more and more every day as a country. So let's just kind of take a look. So when I look at the market risk, and you look at 2000 to 2002, one of the biggest 50% declines over the last 20 years. As you see, back in 2000, the S&P was at 2,200. It declined 50% along the way there from 2001, from 2000 and just in 2001. And so it took 14 years to break even. The S&P took 14 years to break even from 2000 to 2014. In 2007 to 2009, we had another 50% decline. It took 5 years to break even from the market high, but it still did not reach the market high from the year 2000. So pretty interesting. We had a 50% decline in early 2000, never retraced all the way back to the market highs, had another 50% decline, and it took then another 5 years to break even. So what's happening in 2019, I don't know. I do know from a technical analysis that it looks like the market could fall about 66%. How long does it take to come back? Is it like 2000 to 2014? Is it like, when you look next, is it like the Great Depression where it took 16 years to break even? In 1929, we had an 80% decline, and it took 16 plus years to break even. I'm not a market prognosticator. What I would like to do is help protect my clients and help them profit from what's coming. And so ultimately, we also look at debt. So, this is taken from about a month and a half ago. So on the top left there, the United States is going in debt to the tune of $1 trillion a year. We're $22.3 trillion in debt, adding $1 trillion a year. Many economists say if we weren't adding that $1 trillion a year, if the government wasn't going in debt, we'd already be in a recession. Not that a recession is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's part of the economic cycle, but we definitely want to make sure we stay out of a depression type situation. And pounding on and piling on these taxes, for an unseen future is where does all this end? So ultimately we want to talk about, how do you mitigate those taxes? Well, here this is from 2017 or 2011, and then projected to 2017. But when you look here on the left-hand side, in 1961, the average effective tax rate, so the average rate that the average American was paying, was 21.7%. Today, those taxes are 38% lower, and I know it says 2011 on the screen there at 13.3%, but my recent findings online shows that we're right there, still right at that 13.5% for effective tax rate. But when you look at 1961, we were only spending 103.5% of the money we've taken in, so we're going in debt 3.5% a year. Now our debt spending is over, we're spending over 156% of what we take in today, and that keeps climbing as the burdens of Social Security and Medicare that people paid into continue to put burdens on our national government and other types of spending. So, our taxes going up or down? Well, they look like they're going up, and a lot of people have a lot of money in retirement accounts sitting there waiting to be taxed. So, the same scenario here, we have this person, $78,000 current living expenses, a big saver, projected retirement expenses at 3% inflation over 20 years, $140,000. Puts their net portfolio at a 5.5% compounded rate of return at 2.9%, and a 3% withdrawal rate based on gaming statistics, Monte Carlo statistics, and statistical analysis of the market says that you can take 3% off of that amount and your money would last. So projecting $87,987 in income. Then when we just shifted over, we put in some tax advantage strategies here. And just want to make sure that the market's being mitigated. But by putting in just a tax advantage strategy in here with $20,000 of their saving for the next 20 years, what we're able to do is change the allocation of the portfolio. And so ultimately what this did is took their portfolio from that 2.9 and projected it to 3.4. And also, just because we're eliminating some taxes on a portion of the portfolio on $20,000 a year, and that $20,000 a year saving for 20 years projected $61,000 of tax-free income added in. So this puts the total gross income $147,448 and $61,000 of it being tax-free. So, good market portfolio saying, hey, how do we get a good diversified portfolio? How do we make sure that we're not riding the market all the way down? We're creating dollar cost averaging scenarios. And then how do we, use some tax advantage strategies? So you can see there, basically not quite doubled their income, but substantially increased their retirement income. So here's the deal. If you want a complete financial analysis and plan, if you want to mitigate your 5 major risks plaguing your retirement, you want to mitigate the most 2 pressing risks that we see, because no matter if you're retired now or going to retire, these 2 are really important in our current environment, and that's taxes and market risk. We've had a huge bull market run up, and I don't know where it ends. I'm not saying it's going to end, but can you be prepared to make sure you're taking advantage of it? And then taxes. We know taxes have to go up. What does that look like? I don't know who's going to get into office. If socialists get into office, we know taxes are going to go up. So your money's sitting there to be taxed. But we still can't go and spend $1 trillion a year. And so if you want to make sure that you have peace of mind that somebody looked at and did a complete analysis and shared with you, the trend that you're on, what you need to do is just email me at matt@linkbizsolutions.com. Send me 2 times for a 20-minute meeting. 20 minutes, we'll get acquainted. Might, if you feel like you want to kind of move along and answer some questions and kind of get it going, it might take a little longer than 20 minutes, but let's just set it up for 20 minutes. And so send me those 2 times and I'll confirm the best. So complete financial analysis and plan, mitigate the 5 major risks plaguing your retirement, mitigate the most pressing 2 taxes and market risk, and make sure you have peace of mind. Go ahead and email me, matt@linkbizsolutions.com. Send me 2 times for a 20-minute meeting. I'll confirm the best time that works for me, and we'll get started. And I look forward to chatting with you soon.